Welcome, everyone, to the October 15th meeting of the Brentwood Rotary Club. I am your honored past president, Sarah Johnson. Thank you. That is so excited to be here today and welcome you all to this wonderful club. I am going to bring up Bart King to lead us in our invocation, and then George Barrett is going to be doing our pledge and four-way test. Bart?
Let us pray. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we're pardoned, and it is in dying that we're born to eternal life. And so, dear friends, may the rest of 2021 bring with it good health, peace, and joy to all of us, to the city of Brentwood, to the city of Nashville, the state of Tennessee, and to all the states of the U.S. and to all the countries of the world. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third.
Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you so much, George and Bart. We appreciate it. I've asked Michael Heinman to lead us in Happy Buck. However, I didn't give him the utensil.
Is this on?
I have a Happy Buck from Sherry Koss. Sherry is going to put in $5 for Keeley Hall, specifically for his Aggies who beat the Tennessee or beat the Crimson Tide. Congratulations, Keeley. That's all I got, guys. Hang on, I'll loan it to you.
All right. Yes, Jay.
Well, for some of us that had health issues that couldn't serve in the regular military, fortunately here in Tennessee, there is such a thing as the State Guard. And I've been a second lieutenant in the State Guard for a couple of years now, and I just survived our boot camp this past week. I didn't know I had it in me, but I do understand what it is to be screamed at by a drill sergeant at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'll put a Happy Buck in for that. Thank you.
I'm married. I understand the same things.
I want to thank everybody for prayers for my sister. She passed away on Tuesday, only 55 years old. And so there's a lot of you called me and sent messages to Facebook. I really, really appreciate that.
Anybody have? Yes, sir. Definitely in favor of the Titans winning. Want him to have a great game, but I want the Titans to win. And I'm happy that Sarah is our leader.
I was just worried you were stripping.
Today, big day for me, probably not a big day for my wife, but anyway, 55 years ago today. And best thing I've done, but in any event, how do you have a marriage that gets 55 years? And just, I'm very happy married.
That's
Very
wonderful
blessed, very
advice,
blessed.
Larry.
God bless her. Oh, wow.
You can't say a
I'm
banker.
going to
doesn't pay his
Venmo because I don't
debt.
have any cash on me, but I'm not sure we're doing guests, but I'm going to introduce my guest, Miss Mary Dunn here, and I'm excited that she's here. So get 2 for 1 there for the guest and the happy bucks. So
You don't have to pay for announcing a guest. You're good for that. Anybody else have?
Welcome,
Anybody else
Mary.
have an announcement? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. So we have a couple of announcements today. They just want to let everybody know that your order, I'm not even going to fool with it. I'm loud enough for this thing to hear me. Get your orders in by Monday for the Purple Pinky Donuts. Betsy sent everybody an email a couple of weeks ago. So if you need some other information, please see me after the meeting. I can get that for you. Everybody's going to pick up and deliver their own donuts on the October 20th. Also, on Sunday, October 24th, Betsy has asked for everyone to try and find some purple ink and color their pinky that day. That way we have an interesting conversation piece for those we need about why we're walking around with the purple pinky. I have purple toes. Does that, I'll put it on my fingers too. Also wanted to announce that Susie is taking orders for Rotary this year, for Rotary t-shirts. If you're interested in getting your shirt, please see Susie at the end of the meeting. Susie, hold up a shirt for us. Or Lennis, the men, Susie, the women. Larry, the little plugs it off. Okay. Thank you, Susie and Lennis, our fabulous models. That's the best question. That's job about past president. Oh, that's the best question. With that, I want to introduce our fabulous speaker. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot guest. See, I've been gone too long. Jared, please introduce your guest.
Without an introduction, this is Lisa Campsey. Sure, everybody in here knows her husband Tommy. He's a pretty shy guy, doesn't get around much. But this is his better half here. She came to check out Rotary Club and see what we do around here. Please come say hello.
Welcome, Lisa. We're glad you're here. I'm so sorry I missed the guest. With that, our illustrious. Do we have any other guests? Let's do it again.
she's so cool. She deserves 2 introductions. So yeah, Miss Mary Dunn, we met in Toastmasters like earlier this year, last year, and she's a great speaker. Hopefully be speaking with our club here at some point. I'm going to talk to Jonathan about it. And yeah, just welcome her. She's a realtor in town. Amazing woman. So there you go. Say anything, Miss Mary? All right. Okay.
So now everybody has witnessed Sarah's blonde moment. So just help you out there. All right. Now, a man who needs no introduction. The man that every member in this club has come to know and love and maybe feel a little scared of on occasion. The one, the only, Larry Kain, to talk about our golf results.
Da-da-da. It got it right there. Thank you, Sarah, Miss former ex-president. I feel like I'm in church because there's nobody sitting up here in the front, but that's okay. And I was really worried. I said, boy, they must have read my program and it really stinks because there's nobody here. And then somebody told me it is spring break. And I said, so fall break, excuse me. So we're going to go with what I got. And we've got a few people here that we're going to honor, not near as many as I would like to, because we're going to honor a lot of folks today. Before I get started and thanking people, I have to thank one very special person, and that is my bride, who most of you know. Last year, she said, because we had remember we started last year in January, then the tournament got delayed and we didn't have it till September. And so her comment was, I feel like I've been pregnant for 9 months. And so, but this year, because we only did it for about 5 months, she hangs in there with me, listens to all my stories and all my gripes and all my complaints, and wonders where I am half the time when I'm in on the computer. And so thank you, my dear. I love you. So I'm gonna tell you about our golf tournament. I'm gonna tell you about how it works. I've got 40 minutes, so we can do this for a long time. So a few days before the tournament, the assistant chairman, Sue, said something to me like, you don't have to worry about the tournament because you have it so organized and everybody will have a great day. So I was grateful for that. And I knew our event would be successful, but it made me think, why is our tournament successful? Why have we had this 5 years and it's gotten better every year? So the answer is pretty simple. The tournament works because 80 of our members got out and sold sponsorships to help raise the money. 31 of those sold more than one. That's what makes it work money-wise. You sold 53 new sponsorships this year. That's awesome. 53 new sponsors. 24 of you worked at the tournament. Some of you 2 hours, some of you 10 hours. It works because Jennifer Ruan worked an extra unplanned shift to fill in for someone who couldn't come. She worked 4 hours instead of 2. It works because George Johnson and Greg Irwin spent a couple of hours putting sponsors' names on golf carts because the stickers we had would not stick to the surface and they had to do it all with tape. And it took them about 2 hours to do that. It works because Kip Dodson came out and worked after a call at the last minute when we needed somebody to work, and he came out and worked. It works because Jonathan Merck got through playing and then made cart runs to bring in players from the course. And it also works because Jonathan was a sponsor, a worker, a player, and a team captain. He was our only member that had 4 involvements. It works because Mark McFerrin came out unannounced and ended up making trips to on-course workstations to give workers potty breaks. He became the hero of the day, obviously. It works because Don and Michael Ann Robinson came out for 3 hours or more and took pictures of what all happened at the tournament. It works because Linda Sugis has prepared 4 presentations from me this year to give to you so that I can keep you updated on the event with a lot of work and innovation, as you will see today. And it really worked because Susie Lindsay stayed on the course all day, probably 10 hours or more, making sure all the workers got to their stations and taking care of a multitude of unplanned issues that always come up. I cannot thank Susie enough for her attitude, positive attitude, and that is why it works. Thank you, Susie. So the bottom line here, it works because of you. It doesn't work because of anything I do. And today we're going to celebrate you. I wish more of you were here, but you that are here are going to celebrate. I'm going to go over some of the numbers for the tournament and how they worked, and then we'll get into the real heroes of the event, which is you. Of course, this year we had the same group who've had every year come and play. That's that group comes every year. That's Jonathan Merck, Rodney Lunn, and John Kreft. They all came out and played in the tournament, so that was good. This year we honored 3 major partners which we do every year. And that was Agape, Healing Housing, and High Hopes Development Center. And those three will go before the BRCCF trustees to select an amount that they will give. Last year, we gave our major sponsors $10,000. I think it's safe after talking to Tom last night that we will probably give them at least $10,000 each this year from the tournament. So that number will be announced in November when we have the grant give outs. One thing I do want to mention that here, this is really where I really wish more people were here, is our website. This website was spectacular, and the guys that put it together for me did a great job. And just to show you how it worked for us this year and how much it can help us in the future, this is the first year we've had our own website. Everything else in the past has been done through the club website. We had $38,990 paid through the website, online payments from sponsors. 38,000. We had 124 online signups from players and sponsors. Now, the ones that 124 signed up, some of them paid online, the 38,000, and the rest of them were sent invoices immediately when they signed up to pay from. So it took a lot of work off of me. It takes a lot of work off of you. And I had a lot of questions from people that were, the answers are on the website. People calling me saying, what was this sponsor do? How many of these do we have left? What time does the tournament start? What time are we eating? Yada, yada, yada. You can go to the website and get all that information. So we used it pretty good this year. We need to use it more next year. This year we had 1,152 hits on our website. You know what that means? Somebody has gone on our website. That's an average of 177 a month. So it got a lot of activity, and I was tickled to death with that. And just we'll emphasize that probably a little bit more next year because it really takes a lot of work off of everybody. Okay, let's talk about some numbers. Historical numbers here, and look at 2021, which was this year. Y'all see that? So we had 101 whole sponsors, which is good. Look at 2019. We had 165 whole sponsors. That's not a bad thing because we make up for it on the next line. We had 85 major sponsors, which is the most by far we've ever had. And that was compared to 48 in 2019. So, you know, you think 101 is down a lot, but 85 is up a lot because it's a lot more money to us. We had 128 players. That's the most we've ever had. And I'm going to tell you right now, for those of you who played, we had too many. We had too many players. And I know that doesn't make sense because there are tournaments that play 140 and 144 people, and you stay out there 6 hours. We were out there 5 hours and 15 minutes, and that's way too long. And the golfers don't enjoy that. It makes the day too long. So next year, we will not have 128 players. I promise you that. We had 24 workers, the most we've ever had because we had some different contests this year we've not had in the past. And we'll go over those in just a minute. This number is the one that always bothers me, and you all heard me say this every year. We had 80 people participate. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's 73% of our club. So 27% of our club did not participate in the tournament, and that's got to change. Ideally, that number should be 100. Realistically, that number should be 95. 95% of our club should participate. That'd be 103 members. We had 80. So we're going to work on that. As you'll see later, that's a great source of lost income to us. And we've got to work on that. We had 46 related sponsors that were related to Rotary. That means it was either a personal sponsorship or the company that you work for or you own was a sponsor. And that's okay. We expect that. You can see we've had higher than that in the past, and we've had lower than that. So that's just a number that's out there, and it's good. And we expect people that can to get their companies to sponsor the tournament. We had 140 outside sponsors, non-Rotary, and yet you can see that's down from the last 2 years, which is kind of unusual. But again, we want that number to grow. We want somebody else to pay for this. We don't want to pay for it. We want non-Rotary members to pay for this. And lastly, we had 14 personal sponsors. I was a personal sponsor. People choose to be personal sponsors, which is fine. What I don't want, I say this every year, I don't want people to think they have to write me a check. to be in this thing. Get a sponsorship, get somebody, if you want to do a personal sponsor. I do it and several others do it because they want to, and that's fine. But ideally, I want it to be financed by somebody else. So this year, as you all know, we had 9 team captains, and each team captain was responsible for anywhere from 10 to 11 sponsor members under their guidance. And actually, several of those team captains are here today. Not many, but several of them are. Tom Carr, Sherry Koss, John Helm, Jason Holsey, Greg Irwin, Dale Llewellyn, who's here, Hunter McCarty, who is here, Jonathan Merck, and Linus Sujas, who is here. You're working. You don't have to get up. So these team captains endured 22 emails from me, one every week during the last 5 months. And I can't thank them enough. It makes communication so much easier and so much cleaner having someone contact 10 people versus trying to contact 100 people. So thank you all again for what you've done, and I appreciate you volunteering the time. Team competition wise, teams lined up like this, and I didn't put all of them in here. I just put the top 5 teams so you can see. One team, Hunter McCarty's team. Yay, Hunter. The 82% out there is the percentage of people on his team that participated, and you can see he tied with John Helm at 82%. If he'd had 100%, obviously he'd had more. But great job, Hunter. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, okay, I forgot about that line. So let's compare their team to the A team, the fabulous A team that we've heard about. We started when we first started the tournament. The A team, which is composed of Mr. Tanksley, Mr. Andrews, and Mr. Kaplan, raised $26,800 between the 3 of them. So now, originally we used to give gift cards to the members of the teams that won. We changed that a couple of years ago, and we decided that we needed to give that money out rather than give it to the members. So we started giving the money out. This year, Hunter's team has chosen to donate their money, which is $100 per member. That's $900 to the Baptist Children's Home's Christmas gifts. So where's Chris? Chris Wilson, put that to good use, please. No. Hey. Couldn't have a tournament without workers. And oh, I'm sorry, that's his team, isn't it? Go back to that. This is the team members for Hunter's team and what they all did. Starting with Jeff Talley, $6,000. Jeff was the one that was responsible for Lattimore Black being our major sponsor. They actually had backed out, and so they weren't going to do it at the last minute when they told me they would. But anyway, they backed out, and then Jeff went in and did something, and they came up and said they would do it. So we got $6,000 sponsorship because of Jeff. Patrick Wright's one of the consistent guys every year. Patrick's up there at the top, and as you'll see later, does a great job. But his whole team did really good, and again, we appreciate what they did. Now we go to the volunteers. Okay, this is Susie's schedule of workers, and you can see it starts early and it goes all the way through the day and different shifts and things. And so we really appreciate what all these people did. Who's not showing up there that came out early that morning and worked was Mr. Freeman, Rod Freeman, George Johnson, Greg Irvin, and Jack Nassari. They came out and helped set up the carts. And as I mentioned, George and Greg had the great privilege of putting stickers on the front of all the carts, which took a long time. So again, we couldn't do it without the workers, and every year, Susie's done a great job of putting together these teams, and a lot of these people have worked every year. I think, if I remember correctly, Jennifer Bourne has worked every year. This is her 5th year to work in the tournament. And there may be some others, but I know for sure Jennifer's in her 5th year. So thank you so much. If you're here, thank you. And let's give a round of applause for our workers. I was hoping Chief would be here. The Patriot Cup, we sponsor every year. It's a competition between the fire department and the police department. The police department has won it every year, and they won it this year. So congratulations to Jeff and his team. There's his teammate with their cup. He's got a grip on that Patriot Cup. He's not going to let go of it. So they won by 1 shot. It was close, but they did beat the firemen by 1 shot. So congratulations to Jeff and the police. That was great. Now we get to do some fun things with our club champions. Our club champions are the top 20 in ties of members and what they solicited this year. So like I said, unfortunately, a lot of these folks are not here, but we're going to go down our list anyway. Mike Barrett got 1 sponsor for $1,500. Charles Grumman, 1 sponsor for $1,500. Rodney Lunn, 1 sponsor for $1,500. Kip Dotson got 2 sponsors for $1,500. Harold Fogelberg got 2 sponsors for $1,500. Jonathan Merck got 2 sponsors for $1,550. Sarah got 3 for $1,700. Yeah, Sarah, you got something. Keeley Hall, he's here, $1,850 for 2 sponsors. And you can see out here what they did, sponsor, worker, et cetera. Where am I here? Tom Carr, $2,000, 2 sponsors. Hunter here, $2,000 for 1 sponsor. Lennis got $2,200 for 2 sponsors. Dale Llewellyn, Dale's here, got $2,200 for 3. Patrick Wright, as I mentioned earlier, every year Patrick busted, and he got 6 sponsors for $3,300, and he was a sponsor and a worker and a team captain, so he was a busy guy. Steve Grissom came through big time this year, got 8 sponsors for $3,450. That was a big year for Steve. Brian Shaw, of course, is no longer with our club, but before he left, he got $3,700 in sponsorships for us, which was really good, and 2 sponsors. Steve Huff, one of our newer members, got $3,750 with 6 sponsors. Steve, thank you so much, man. That was great. He brought in some really good sponsors too. Lewis Rankin, $3,950 with 4 sponsors. Jane Covington got $5,000 for 1 sponsor. Jane's here. Thank you, Jane. Jane, I think, has been at that number just about every year, which is wonderful. Devin McClendon had another good year. Devin every year is in the top 4 or 5. He had $5,600, 6 sponsors. Michael Kaplan had $5,700 for 6 sponsors. Jeff Talley got the $6,000 we talked about earlier with 1 sponsor. That guy got $8,050 for 10 sponsors. And then I want to call, if they would, to come forward here, Mr. Andrews and Mr. Tanksley. So you can't really see that top number there, but Jared had $8,800 with 24 sponsorships. Curry had $12,500, a new record. We set a record last year at 10.5, and Curry broke that by $2,000. $12,500 and 18 sponsors. So I did a little research. Don't you get back up here and stand? Golly, huh? Right there's good, so people can see you. So I did a little research, and in the 5 years that we've had the tournament, these 2 have been in the top 4 or 5 every year. They've been number 1 multiple times, both of them have. But in the 5 years, Curry has brought in $31,050 in sponsorships with 81 sponsorships. So 81. only to be outdone by his buddy, Mr. Tanksley, who over 5 years has brought in $35,200 in sponsorships, 113 sponsors. And everybody will remember about 3 years ago or 4 years ago, we asked Jared, how do you do this? Because he had 24 this year. That's his third best. He had 25 the first year we had the tournament, and he had 26 in 2019. So he gets 20 plus sponsors every year. And the answer he gave when we said, Jared, how do you do this? I just ask. How easy is that? And that's the secret. You just ask. So I can't thank you guys enough. A-Team has been fabulous. This was the best year ever. And thank you. Thank you. So now we get to see what all that means to us and what it means to Tom Carr and the BRCCF. This is a year by year. You can see what we've done. We've grown it. The first number, which is cut off the label, but the first number is the gross income, and the second number is the net income for the year. So you can see through 2019, 19 was a really good year. We made 70,000. Last year we thought was going to be a really bad year because of COVID, and it turned out to be a great year. We did 117,000 in sales, and we made 82,000. Our goal this year was to make $90,000. I figured if we could get up to 90 after last year, that would be spectacular. So this year we did 138,990 in gross income. That's how much we've sold. That is wonderful. We made $94,152. So Tom, that will go to Tom Carr, and we're going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do in the future. But that was a great year, and thank you everybody who participated. And we're going to get we're not through yet. As I told somebody earlier, I said we hadn't scratched yet. So thank you, and thank you to everybody. Oh. I just drive the car. You guys are what makes it work. You're the engine. I just drive it. I'm working on it, baby. Mark McFerrin's here. I think he's got an envelope. Yeah. You won something and you weren't here to get it. But you did a great job this year, Mark. Thank you. Sorry, I had you confused. Yeah, they owe us. That's right. Okay. So the goal for next year is obviously $100,000. We're so close, and we're going to get there. And so how are we going to get there? This is just these are the numbers that I like to play with. So we made 94,152 this year. If the 29 members who did not participate this year, if those 29 members had sold one whole sponsorship for $350, that's $10,150. Everything else stays the exact same, except those members contribute. We make our 100,000, we make 104,000 actually. Now, this is a little bit deeper, but 48 members, we have a goal, as you recall, every year to have $500 per member and 100% participation. So 48 members got $500 this year. If 95% of the membership had made that same goal, we'd made $27,775. easily over 100. And then this is really fun. If 95% of the club were to sell one more hose sponsorship each, one $350 hose sponsor, that's $36,050. So, you know, those are kind of fun, just numbers to look at, but it's there. And it's just going to take us doing it and getting out and making those calls and asking those people for the money and just asking, as we said. Y'all did great. I can't thank you enough. The tournament scheduled for next year, whoever asked me about that, August the 29th, 2022 at Nashville Golf and Athletic Club. Brentwood Country Club is shut down. They're redoing their golf course. We're going to make $100,000. All I can tell you. We're going to do it, and you won't have to hear from me now until March. So, yeah. So thank you again to everybody. Lisa, thank you for your sponsorship. Lisa Campsey got us a sponsorship this year. We thank you for that. And thank you all for everybody, what everybody did this year. It was just spectacular. Mr. Andrews has something to say. Always ask for more. That's exactly right.
I'd like us all to stand up one more time and clap for Larry Kain. He doesn't like it, but and can you go back to the slide that shows the cumulative of what's happened over the years for us? And there's a reason that I wanted to ask the club to do that and recognize Larry. This golf tournament was Larry's brainchild. Yes, he's very humble. Yes, he's very, very giving and loving of this club. And it all started with an idea. And a direct result of that idea is $339,254 raised over the last 5 years. And that is nothing short of amazing. Those are dollars that are changing people's lives, everybody. It's not about what we raise and who we're doing all this. It's about what lives we're changing. And Larry, I personally thank you for coming up with the idea, getting the club behind it, getting our A team behind it, and all of our team captains, because without that dedicated support, we couldn't look at this number and say, this is the impact we have to everybody. So with that, Larry, thank you very much. I'd like to remind everybody to please help us put up the tables and chairs as against the walls today. And I'm going to open up to the club a question. Is there anything else for the good of Rotary? Any announcements? I want to make one special announcement is that I hope to see you all next week for our district governor, Michael Babb, is going to be speaking, as well as we have an announcement from the district that we want to share with everyone. And if there's nothing else for the good of the club, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for coming. That's my favorite part.